when your typical salesperson, when an individual shows up to the dealership, the first thing they do, number one, you got a team full of salespeople standing outside the store, standing in a circle, looking at the customer as they come in like vultures staring at meat, waiting on it to die so they can attack it. So everybody's standing around staring at this person, licking their lips and their chops. Customer pulls in, they jump out the vehicle. Now you got either one person racing towards them, and they go up there to them, and the first thing they want to ask them is, can I help you? Now I'm going to cover two of the silliest questions a salesperson can ask. Number one is, can I help you? That is a stupid question. Here's why that is. Think about what it means when a salesperson or an employee, period, says, can I help you? What you're really saying is it okay if I do for you what my employer hired me to do? Hey, even though they're paying me to be here, is it okay if I help you? Even though that's what they want me to do. That's insane, because when you say, can I help you? And they say, nope, just looking. Get back, salesperson. Where do you go from there? You're done. And anything else that you try to do, now you're violating me. You asked me, I told you get away from me. Now you're being too pushy. But we set it up. 9 out of 10 salespeople, I'll say almost 9.5 out of 10 salespeople will approach a person and say, can I help you? The second question that is silly is, how you doing? Now you might say, well, how you doing, Brian? How is that a crazy question? Let me explain to you why. In our society, okay, we are programmed to respond to certain situations a certain way. Think about yourself. When that happy-go-lucky salesperson comes bouncing up to you, what do you typically say when they say, can I help you? Oh, no, I'm just looking. I'm good. I'm okay. I'm straight. I'm just looking. Y'all do it. All of you have told a salesperson, I'm just looking. I'm good. Knowing you were there to get something. You just didn't want to be bothered with them at that time. But let's just say the item doesn't have a price on it, or you don't see your size. Now you're looking for, hey, listen, where are the salespeople? Damn, I can't find anybody when I need it. Well, we told the person we didn't need it, but now that we're ready to buy, or we're going into buy mode, now we want them to come help us. That's because people hate to be sold, but they love to buy. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care first. Okay? So when you approach a person and say, how you doing? In sales, your objective is to ask questions that allow you to get information, but take this prospect down the pathway of the process. Okay? So you have to keep them as positive-minded as possible as you take them through that process. So when you ask somebody, how you doing? Seeing as you have no idea what happened in their life that night, what happened in their life the day before or that morning, you don't know. So when you ask somebody, how you doing, what you maybe end up doing is having them take a mental trip back through all of the negative experiences they went through. How many times have you approached somebody and said, how you doing today? And they be like, case of the Mondays, or case of the Wednesdays, or man, woke up this morning, stubbed my toe, my car broke down, the dog got sick, got stuck at a light, whatever it is. And by the time they get done, you're like, I wish I would have never said anything to them, you know? Because they went through all of this negative stuff. Now, when you ask somebody a question like how you doing, and it forces them to take that mental trip backwards, they have just taken 3 steps back. Now you have to work just to build them back up to a level even keel before you can proceed, you know, with everything else. And another reason why saying how you doing is a bad question is because, again, we are programmed to respond to certain things in certain ways. And every question you ask is designed, should be, to get information. The only time you ask a closed-end question is when you know that the only logical response is yes. Now this is important. A closed-end question is one where the only response is yes or no. The reason why it's called closed is because it minimizes the information, because the only thing needed is a yes or a no answer. In sales, the only time you should ask a closed-end question is when the only logical response is what? Yes. Yes, right. The other type of question is what's called an open-ended question. And that's where you ask a question that is designed to generate feedback from them. Okay? So when we ask people certain questions, you have to have an intention with the questions that you're asking. Most salespeople, they don't hone their process. Over 90% of salespeople never read a book on sales. Those of you who read My book already have done more than over 90% of the people in the sales business today. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Those of you who read that book, I guarantee you, if you keep up with that, you are on your way to getting where you want to go. Trust me, because I'm willing to bet less than 15% of the people in this room read it. I would say less than 15% of the people even attempted to start reading it. But then we have a few, small few, who actually read it. So if I had to judge off that, and not saying this is a direct indicator, but it gives me a good idea of who's really serious and who's trying to really shorten that learning curve down and get out there and make money as quick as possible. Because you determine how fast or how slow you get out there and you earn. The beautiful thing about this business is there is no cap, there are no limitations. You want to make $10,000, $15,000 a month, you can do it. But you must be prepared to put the effort in to get it. Remember, people have a $100,000 a year taste with a $10,000 a year work ethic. The two don't mesh. So we ask somebody, how you doing? That's a program response. And I'll show you how. Mike, would you do me a favor? Would you stand up at that door right there? And you and I are going to walk towards each other. I'm going to stand down here. And I'm going to walk on this side. You on that side. When we get close, I'd like you to ask me how I'm doing.
Hey, how you doing?
Man, I'm glad that you asked. You know, in reality, I'm looking to lose a little bit of weight. Started balding around 28. Thought about going the Rogaine route, but chose against that. You know, look for my business and my companies to go more international, and I got a daughter in college, and I got two boys in high school. One plays football, the other one's in drama. Trying to figure that one out. You know, I have this thing with eating late at night, which has helped me get a little bit of the stomach care, you know. But, thank you. Now, if you would ask somebody, how you doing? And they stopped, and they responded to you like that, would you think they were crazy? Think they were crazy, right? You said, hey, how you doing, sir? And they just stopped like, well, I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, and doing that. Would you look at them like, man, and try to get away from them as quick as you could?
Was that
That sounds like my daddy, though. He would definitely stop and, like, give you the third degree. He'd be like, yeah, since you asked, let me talk your ear off for an hour and a half, even though you might have stuff to do.
You know, but the reality of it is, if most people stopped and responded like that, folks would think they were crazy. They would say, man, this person is weird. All I did is say, how you doing? And they want to stop and talk to me about it. But the crazy thing is that is a person that stops and responded like that crazy, or is the person who asked the question and did not expect the response or did not want the response crazy?
the person who asked it?
Right. So in our society, when we say, how you doing to people, we don't give a damn about how they really doing. As a matter of fact, we feel offended and they're crazy if they really respond. Think about how often do you see two people say, how you doing? How you doing? They just keep walking.
Oh, I do.
Hey, how you doing today? How you doing today?
I do that all the time.
Exactly. So when a customer comes onto the lot and you say that to them, you are no different than the stranger in the grocery store they said it to, the homeless guy on the street they said it to when they gave $1, then you're no different. And they don't believe that you want information with just generic type of greed.
Does it feel like you are putting in the time at your dealership but not getting the results? Does it feel like you're digging yourself out of a hole every month? Automotive sales is a great career where you can have fun and make a lot of money. But why do so many fail? They fail because they were never taught how to sell. The internet has eliminated just lying to people. Today, successful selling requires skills that most salespeople have never been shown. Until now. If you're tired of stepping over dollars at your dealership to pick up dimes, I invite you to register for Brian Maxwell's free webinar, How to Dominate at the Dealership. Brian Maxwell trains top producing automotive sales professionals nationwide and knows what it takes to dominate at your dealership. In the event, you will receive Closing Secrets of Six-Figure Earning Automotive Sales Professionals, Fastest Way to be a 20-Vehicle-a-Month Producer, How to Earn $10,000 in 60 Days, and much more. Register now and reserve your spot for this free power-packed presentation.
We have the How to Dominate at the Dealership webinar, free webinar that's coming up online right after the first of the year. So make sure you click the link, go over, get the 25 closes, and wait. We're going to be notifying you for the Power Pack How to Dominate at the Dealership webinar coming up right after the first of the year. I'm Brian Maxwell. Salute to you. And again, I'll see you at the dealership.